Yo, this your boy CEO Hockley. Real quick, man. Today's episode is being sponsored by OGHollywoodspeaks.com. Yes, that's right. OGHollywoodspeaks.com has this fly gear, man. Savage Drive, man. He has this very fly gear, man. He's a former prisoner that changed his life, did 25 years after receiving a life sentence, got home, and he been home 10 years, man. He's been out, he's been free 10 years. He has his own clothing line called Savage Drive. It represents the kind of drive you need to have to make it to the top, the kind of drive you need to have to stay free, right? And as we talk about this prison topic, I want to highlight and show and give respects to those that have been to prison and that are doing the right things in today's society. Everybody go to OGHollywoodspeaks.com and get that Savage Drive. If you got the drive it takes to be successful, man, support him. Also, you can follow him on YouTube. You can follow him on all social medias at OGHollywoodspeaks.com. We appreciate the support here at CEO Talk, and we also like to support other black people doing something positive, man. Savage Drive, that is the clothing line. Get yours today. Salute.
Salute. What's good, man? It's going on in OG Hollywood, man. Where I bring you the Ferguson Chronicle, man, where I keep it number 110 all the way across the board. All the way across the board, man. The day is no different, right? Man. Check this out. I'm going to tell a brief story. It's not going to be long. It's going to be real brief. And it's going to coincide what I'm bringing to the screen today, man. I remember a time when I was on the Ferguson unit, man. For those that don't know, I did a substantial amount of time on the Ferguson unit, man. I ran up and down those hallways with a lot of those guys, man. And we faced different challenges every day. And I remember on these particular days, man, it was a lot of challenges we faced. And it was at breakfast time. Third shift breakfast time, man. And breakfast be served down there probably 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock. It's kind of like right before shift and get ready to change, right? And they had a crew. They called a bandana crew, right? And it was a crew of white guys. And let's not forget, the Ferguson unit is located in Madisonville, Texas, right? And I'm quite sure that somewhere down in Madisonville, Texas, man, it's a gang full of members. It's a gang full of members, man. But these members was called the Blue Bandana members, right? And what they would do, they would catch you in the hallway. Some were middle-aged, and the most of them was young, right? And you know when people are growing up as young, right? They can easily be influenced by people that are older than them, right? And so they kind of follow their ways. Put it like that, without going into detail. They follow their ways. The young COs that was from Madisonville followed the old ways of the COs on Ferguson unit on third shift, right? So what they would do, they would catch you in the hallway, and it's a sad story, and they will beat you. I've seen guys lose teeth. I've seen guys' jaws broken. I've seen guys get dead bad on third shift by this Blue Bandana gang, right? And the severe beating of blacks on third shift was sometimes so severe, man, that you were scared to go to breakfast, right? And so it was a lot of people that didn't go to breakfast because they were scared they was going to get beat by these guys that were called the Blue Bandana gang, right? Without going into full details, man, but this story that I'm about to tell today is really not a story. And y'all understand when y'all come to the Ferguson Chronicle, it's real life people with real life stories, right? I'm a real live person, and I just gave you a real live story. So it's no different from anybody else that's coming on this channel, right? And what I'm about to present to you all today is a real life story. It happened in Mississippi, man. It happened in Mississippi with a squad called the Goon Squad. The Goon Squad. That's something I never thought I'd hear in the free world. I heard Goon Squad in prison. But these guys, police officers, including the lieutenant, was named Goon Squad, right? Like I said, you got to remember, these people follow patterns of other people. They follow patterns of other people. And they don't look at the world through a diverse set of eyes. They look at the world as one color, one race that's supposed to be superior over the other race, which lead them to bad decision making. Regardless whether you're in prison or out of prison, you have these people that exist everywhere. But this was my first time laying these 4 eyes on this particular activity with the name label Goon Squad. Goon Squad. And in this case, man, they caught 2 black guys. But I'm not going to even explain it to you. I'm going to let the people explain it to you, man, because they can do it better than I can. And these people have been sentenced. I've never, ever heard of this place in Mississippi called Rankin. There must be some kind of royal area that's in Mississippi. I'm not familiar with Mississippi, man. So anybody that watched this this documentation of this video that I'm about to show, man, y'all stand strong down there in Rankin, Mississippi, man. And understand, man, that when you outnumbered, things like this gonna happen. And what I mean by outnumbered, I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about when people that are declarated on a force that have all the power that can go get search warrants and come in your house anytime they get ready. The only thing gonna help you is you. Don't let that go over your head. The only thing gonna help you is you. And sometimes these situations happen to other people and it's bad. But on the back end of that, those people get exposed. You know, not to say that this happened to people and they sacrifice themselves, because these guys didn't ask for this, man. So what I'm about to do, man, I'm gonna let the people show you and talk to you. And what I want y'all to do is leave y'all comments and y'all likes and y'all share this video, man. Share my documentation and my elaboration with other people, man. And let them know, man, that this shit still exists out here, man. This shit is in plain sight in society, man. Plain sight, man. Check this out.
Heinous crimes that they admitted to committing back in January. After leaving federal court Thursday, shackled up in the custody of U.S. Marshals, we're now getting a first-hand look at the newly released mugshots of both Brett McAlpin and Joshua Hartfield. Records show that they are being held in Forest County. The other 4, whose mugshots have not been released, were booked into the Pearl River County Jail.
It is very, very rare that we see law enforcement officers be held accountable for violence against people.
In court documents released Thursday, it names 5 deputies who were with the Rankin County Sheriff's Office and 1 former Richland police officer. Brett McAlpin, Jeffrey Middleton, Christian Dedmon, Hunter Elward, Daniel Opdyke, and Joshua Hartfield all pleaded guilty to a total of 13 federal felony offenses. All counts are related to the incidents taking place before, during, and after the men brutalized and tortured Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker. Many, including the Mississippi Center for Justice, says the events that happened January 24th are unimaginable.
It's something that's like exceeds like what you would see in a horror film. It's really just unimaginable to try to understand what these two men experienced.
Court documents say the men tased, handcuffed, poured chocolate syrup, milk, and alcohol on them, forced them to undress, called them racial slurs, and sexually assaulted them with a sex toy attached to a BB gun. Despite the incident,
now, what was the reason for sexually assaulting them with a BB gun, other than to humiliate them and inflict pain? That's no different from taking one of them out there and hanging them on that tree and whipping them. But I understand some things in life never changes. Mississippi is Mississippi, man.
and what took place inside the Braxton home for hours. Prosecutors revealed new details in the incident while in court. One revealing Elward was the deputy who shot Jenkins in the mouth, and another explaining that the officers and their hasty attempt to cover up the incident afterwards. Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey almost brought to tears when asked about the incident in Thursday's presser.
If you took the badge off and put that story on the news, man, that's a horrible crime. That's a bad crime. You throw that badge on me, it's just 100 times worse.
The felony charges against the men include conspiracy against rights, deprivation of rights under the color of law, conspiracy to obstruct justice, and obstruction of justice. Dedmon and Elward were also charged with using, carrying, and brandishing a firearm in the act of violence, which carries a penalty of 10 years to life in prison.
This is a nightmare for law enforcement. This is, again, this is the most horrible incident of police brutality I've known of my whole career, and I'm ashamed that it happened at this department.
This is the chief. Did you hear what he said? He's ashamed. This is your unit. You are in charge of every officer that's on this unit. It's no way that you didn't know what was going on. You are a part of the problem. You are not the solution. This is in Mississippi, and just like I spoke a few minutes ago, the people on the police force follow the elders of the police force. Because if it was anybody that was in charge that didn't condone it, they wouldn't do it. They did it because they knew you would allow them to do it. So you're not embarrassed about it. You're more ashamed that you all got caught.
Conspiracy to obstruct justice and obstruction of justice each carries up to 20 years in prison, along with $250,000 in fines, 3 years of supervised release, and the $100 in stipulated fees. Daniel Opdyke's attorneys have released a statement reading, quote, Mr. Opdyke has taken responsibility for his wrongdoing in this case and has pled guilty to multiple federal crimes. He admits he was wrong for his horrific harms inflicted upon Mr. Jenkins and Mr. Parker, the victims, that night last January, and is prepared to face the consequences of his actions. Now, the 6 officers will remain behind bars until their sentencing, which has been set.
Just to bring a brief update to this situation, those officers have been sentenced, and I'll do a documentation on that in my next video to let you all saw what happened to those people that was in sentencing and to see how they reacted, just to show you that there was no remorse for those 2 officers. Or should I say for those 6 officers that was involved in these horrendous crimes. But I just wanted to show you a comparison to where that inside of prison is very, very the same much in the free world. It coincides. That's the reason why I gave you the Ferguson story first, to show you that these men that are on the police force call themselves the Goon Squad. And like I said, look forward for me to bring you the sentencing of these officers in the near few days. I just want to show y'all this piece of it right here to let you know that this shit is real out here, man. It's more to argue about other than what's real. This is real right here. This is real life right here, where these two guys were sexually assaulted by 6 officers, and they go by the name of the Goon Squad. The Goon Squad, can you imagine that? 6 officers that wear the badge go by the name of the Goon Squad. Y'all remember to hit that like button, hit that share button, man, and send this content out, man. And for those that haven't checked this out, look it up. Rankin County, 6 officers have just been sentenced, as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, extending long periods of time for the crimes they committed. A lieutenant was convicted too. Racism is real, man. That shit still exists, man. But I just thought I'd bring y'all this piece of content, man, because it coincides with what I went through during my incarceration. Here, this shit is still happening in the world. The same thing. The Goon Squad versus the Blue Bandana Gang that jumped on plenty of black inmates and broke jaws and knocked out tooth at breakfast time. But in this case, a man got shot in the mouth. Got shot in the mouth. And a BB gun inserted into his rectum. All for what? For pure pleasure of police officers. Pure pleasure of police officers. Can't make this shit up, man. Y'all remember to hit that like button, that subscribe button, man. I'm out of here, man.